Today I want to look at more SAT problems, and in particular today we'll be looking at how to construct linear equations from word problems and solving what they ask for. So let's look at our first problem. A teacher decides a new way of grading their students. His new regimen involves each student receiving 100 points just for being in class and 25 points for each problem that they solve on the morning worksheet. Figure out an expression for points earned per student per day who attend math class. So, let us see. So we know that our first number will be 100, right? So 100 just for showing up to the class. And then we have our second number, 25 points for each problem that they solve on a morning worksheet. So we don't really know how many problems each student will be able to solve. So that number of problems will be represented by P, right? And if they get 25 for each one, then we'll write 25P. So this 100 is points for showing up. And this 25P will be points for each problem solved. And we can see that the word problem does not give us any other number, does not give us any other information. So these are the two that we have to work with. Now, the last sentence says, figure out an expression for points earned per student per day who attend a math class. So, because it's an expression, we know that we don't need an equal sign. We know that we're just going to have 125p, and we're not going to make it equal to any number. It's just going to be those two numbers. The second part is that for points earned per student per day who attend the math class. So in order to figure out how much points a student earned on any particular day, you would have to add the points that they earned for showing up, which is 100, plus the points that they earned for the problem, for each problem that they solved. And this is our answer. So 100 plus 25p would be the expression that best describes the situation. Harry is a car salesman. His base salary before he makes any sale is $23,000 per year. For each car sale, he makes a commission of $650. Write an equation that will calculate how much money he makes per year based on the amount of sales he makes. So now we're asked to write an equation. So we know that we're gonna have an equal sign. Okay, so let's look at our two numbers, right? So let's look at the numbers we have. So we have $20,000 per year. Right? We have $20,000 per year, and we have $650 of a commission for each car sale. So every time he makes a car sale, so we'll write C, he's going to make $650 off of that sale. Okay, so now that we have these two, let's look at what the last sentence is. Let's look at what the word problem is asking us. So it's saying write an equation. Okay, we have that. We know that's going to involve an equal sign that will calculate how much money he makes per year based on the amount of sales he makes. Okay, so to calculate how much he makes per year, we need to know how much he's making in a year, which is the 23,000, and how much money he makes off of commissions per car sale, and we have that represented here. So we can add these two together, right? So in any given year, we know for sure he's making $23,000, and depending on how many cars he sells that year, he's gonna make $650 times that amount of cars. So we know that this is gonna be his yearly salary. This is how much he makes in any given year. So we can set that to y. We could technically set this to any variable or even a function. So like we could set this to g of c, or f of c, or we can even just leave it as a variable. We can just leave it as y. And we could even replace the c as x. And this looks more familiar to what you're used to seeing X and Y, right? Because we know that Y is going to be the total amount of money that he makes in a year, and X is the thing that's going to change. It's going to be how many cars he sells in that year. It could be 5, 10, 15, however many cars he sells that year. So in the end, this is going to be the equation that describes this situation. 23,000 plus 650x equals y. Okay, a highway construction worker uses a function g defined by g of x equals 20x plus 300 to estimate the cost g of x in dollars to pave a highway of x square feet. If the paver estimates that the cost to pave a certain part is 2,600, what is the area of the new road in square feet? Okay, so in this problem, we are given the equation. This time we are given the function g of x, and now we have to solve it. We're given the answer, and now we have to find out what x is, right? So let me rewrite it down here, 20x plus 300. So because it tells us that in the problem, right here, to pave a highway of x square feet, we know x is going to represent the square feet of freshly paved road. So we can look at this 20 and say that this, for each square feet of new road, it's going to cost us $20. And this 300, because it's a constant, there is no variable next to it. 300 is going to be like the fee. It's going to be the initial pay. There's always going to be $300 to pay, and then for each square feet, you're going to have to add $20. So because we know the cost in total is going to be 2,600, we can solve this equation like any other equation. So we would subtract the constant over here, this 300. So we'll subtract 300 on this side and subtract 300 on this side. The zeros cancel out. And 6 minus 3 gives us 3. And 2 minus 0, we can just drop this down to this. So now we have 2,300 is equal to 20x. And now we just divide both sides by 20. So this divided by 20, this divided by 20. We can cross out the zeros. 230 divided by 2 is equal to 115. So what does this mean? So what does x equals 115 mean? So remember, we said that x is equal to the square feet of freshly paved road. So we can answer this. What is the area of the new road in square feet? So the area of the new road in square feet will be 115 feet squared. Right? Okay. Michael is making 30 shirts fundraising for his school's football team. At the fundraiser, he is selling each shirt for $20 a piece. If each shirt costs him $10 a piece to make, how much profit does he make if he only sells 25 shirts at the reunion? So this is a bit of a tricky question, right? So the question is asking us how much profit, right? How much profit? So we have to find out two pieces of information. One is how much money is it gonna cost him to make the 30 shirts? Because that's our first given information. He's making 30 shirts. And how much money does he and how much profit does he take home if he sells 25 shirts? Sorry. 25 shirts. So first, let's figure out how much is it gonna cost him to make 30 shirts. So we know it says if each shirt costs him $10 a piece to make, and he's making 30 shirts, 30 times 10 equals 300. So we know 300 is equal to the cost of production. Now we want to figure out how much money did he make total. So we know he sells them for $20 a piece right here, and he sold 25 at the fundraiser. So we can do 20 times 25. That's going to equals 500. So that's going to be total money earned. And remember, 500 is not going to be our answer. 500 is not the profit he made. If the question was asking us what was like his gross income, then 500 would be our answer. But remember, this 500 does not take into account the $10 that each shirt costs to make. So he made a total of $500 that day, but he spent $300 earlier that day making the 30 shirts. So when we subtract 500 minus 300, we get $200. And this is his profit. We took the total amount of money he made at the fundraiser and we subtracted it by the cost that it took him to make those initial 30 shirts. It might be easy to miss this initial fact that he made 30 shirts and then just do 25 times 10 and figure out how much it cost him to make the 25 shirts. But always remember to read carefully on these SAT questions because they'll include these little pieces of information, and they'll be important, and they end up throwing you off if you don't pay attention to them, resulting in the wrong answer. So in total, he made a profit of $200.